best free tools that will help you start your digital marketing program. Quickly, this is the program that we have. This is the module that we'll be covering. And there is a bonus free tool towards the end for organizations who have already done the basics in their marketing tools. Okay, so stay till the end of the program, and you will be able to get an additional tool which you can use for your advanced marketing programs. Along with this today, you will also be getting our e-handbook. So do not worry if you are about taking up screenshots, etc. All the content for the first 3 tools will be given to you as a e-handbook over an email after the program directly from Ty or from me. Okay. There is also a free consult for organizations who are looking at the advanced CRM tool. I will share more details of it towards the end of the program. Now, quickly, some housekeeping. If you have any questions, please use the questions chat box at any time during the webinar. I've already mentioned about the ebook and the registration piece. You're also invited to contact me after the program anytime for additional information or queries. My email ID is neetu@marketingforsales.in. Okay, so Nirmal has already shared about me, so I will not spend time over here. Now, let's start with identifying what is the right approach. Having worked with many of the business owners, I have found that there's often a confusion about what should I be doing when I want to start my digital journey, especially for organizations who have not done digital before. So let me start with explaining the difference between online marketing and e-commerce. Okay, so let's start with a social market is basically your social media platform which you are using to communicate and reach out to a larger audience. A marketplace is a place where somebody else has already built a marketplace for you. It's like your typical physical marketplace where you have the buyers and the sellers coming to the same place, and then there are business transactions that happen. And the last one is where you own your own market store. That means having your own physical store. The same thing, having a own digital store. Social marketing, for example, includes all your Google ads, whatever you're doing on Google, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. We're all familiar with this. That is called social marketing. Marketplaces, we have most commonly, we're all already, we all know about Amazon, we know about Flipkart, BigBasket. Now these are all B2C marketplaces. Then you also have the B2B marketplaces like IndiaMart, 99 Business, Beldara, GEM from the government of India. And the last piece is that when you own your own market store, that means you create your own e-stores, okay, by using platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce. These are all platforms that help you build your own e-stores. This is exclusive to your business offerings only, okay. Today, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be focusing mainly on social marketing. That's the place that you begin with when you are looking at digital marketing. So typically, if somebody is looking at setting up an e-commerce store, I would say you start with a common marketplace before you create your own marketplace. And somebody who's not looking at e-commerce, the starting point for you is always the social marketing. Okay, we're talking about online marketing. That's social marketing relates to online, and whereas e-commerce is your marketplace and own marketplace. So these are the two different differentiation for companies who are thinking about going digital. Okay, now let's start with our first poll over here. Nirmal, can you launch this? The question here is: have you claimed your free Google My Business? So if you could quickly answer yes or no. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. Great. So I am seeing that a larger portion of the organizations over here have not claimed your Google My Business. Now, this is the best place for us to start. For organizations who have not claimed Google My Business, you'll get to know in this session why you should claim your Google My Business. And for the 41% who have already claimed their Google My Business, you will also know how to optimize it and use it to improve your businesses over here. Okay, so we can end the poll now. Thank you. So we will now move on to what is Google My Business. Just give me a moment. My screen seems to have frozen. Okay. Okay, so let's see what is Google My Business. Now, all of us use Google when we are searching for an organization or a business or a service or anything. Now, when you do a Google search, okay, this is what you typically see on the right hand side. You will generally see a map and at least the first 3 companies or businesses which will cater to your search. Now, in this example, I have taken the example of a friend of mine who has a glassware store in Vasant Nagar, Bangalore. So if I, as a user, I want to buy something with glassware, I just click on glassware store, or I just type glassware store, and I get a list of these kind of organizations. Now, when you see this list of companies down, these are the companies who have actually claimed their Google My Business. So if you have not claimed, your name typically will not come in this list. Okay, so that is the first advantage and remember, Google My Business is free. It's a very powerful and easy tool, and it's completely free, and it is powered by Google, which is the most comprehensive search engine used by everybody across the globe. So if you haven't claimed a Google My Business, this is the beginning point where what you're missing out. Now let's see what does it mean to have this listing over here. Okay, once you claim your Google My Business, you will also come into the top categories of the Google search pages. Now, all of us know when you make a search on Google, you actually get a lot of information across various pages. But typically as users, it's only the first page that we focus upon. And even in the first, it's always the first 3 or 5 listings which capture the attention of a customer. Okay. Now, if you have completed your Google My Business, all the categories, entered all the information, okay, that's when your company details will come on the top of the list. So for those who have claimed the Google My Business but have not completely utilized this, go back and optimize it, and I will tell you how to optimize it to ensure that your businesses come up in the top 3 or 5, or at least the first page of the Google searches. This is important, and we all know that, because very rarely do we go to page 2 or page 3 of Google searches. Okay, now this is a screenshot of all the information that is available to your customer when they are looking at when they look at your Google My Page site. Let me show you what does all of this mean. To begin with, it gives you directions. So directions to your if you have a physical store or a physical office where your customers come and visit, the directions, if you have a Google My Business, directions gets captured over here. So this will also pin your location on Google Map. Another powerful tool is the Google Maps. A lot of people who are trying to visit businesses always will use, in today's world, use Google Map to reach your location. And with Google My Business, you are able to pin your location on the Google Map. Next is the Google reviews. Today, I think all of us, whenever we are buying any product as a consumer or a business, we always look at reviews, okay? And Google makes it very easy for you to capture reviews from your happy customers. So these are the Google, so you can easily, your customers can simply go and quickly give you star ratings. The next one here, which is mentioned, is the glassware store in Bangalore. This is your description about your business, which you can write for yourself. So if you are somebody who's offering UPS solutions, then you can write you're a UPS company. If you're a recruitment company, you write recruitment. If you're an institution, you can write that you're an institution. You can describe your business over here. your address, proper, this is your proper address which is used in your mailing, etc. So that whole address comes in over here. This also helps in Google Maps. Then your working hours, a phone number, and this company, Premier Corporation, they have not added their website detail over here. But you can also add your website information over here. If you do this, you can also start tracking how many people are actually visiting Google My Business and finding you on Google My Business and then reaching to your website. So there is an analytics, which I will talk to you about a little later, which you can track if you add your website details over here. Then you have products. Products, and this is not just names, but images and videos. And there is unlimited amount of photographs that you can upload over here. And we all know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And this is where you can utilize products. You can simply upload photographs of, directly from your mobile, click photographs of your businesses, your products, your services, your staff, your premises, even your factory, anything, and put it up over here so that it's very easy. And this also becomes searchable on Google Images. Another powerful advantage that you have. The next is the question and answers. Google My Business makes it easy for your customers to quickly type out a question that they may have for your services. And you can answer that directly from your mobile itself, as easy as that. Popular times, this is something which GNB itself calculates the number of how many people, what times they come into it, what are the timings that they prefer, how much time they spend in your premises. So in this case, this is a store, and Google has identified that people actually spend 20 minutes to 1 hour over here. That means there's such a huge collection. There is so much interesting stuff over here. People spend so much time over here. All of these are little subtle things which increase the importance of your business in a customer's eyes. Now, the next one is the reviews. These reviews are, it's not just enough for you to just capture star information, like star ratings, but your customers can actually write reviews about you. And the customers can also add photographs. So the photographs piece is not just you adding photographs, but your customers can also, if they like something, if you're a restaurant and if your customers have really loved, let's say a dessert, and if they click a photograph, you can actually ask them to upload it on your Google My Business account also. It's very easy for them to do this through their mobile. Okay, so that means even your customers can generate content for you. And then of course, you have an entire description which you can use and talk more about all the products and services that you offer. Now, the next thing is Google also makes it easy for your customers to communicate with them through a messaging system. So many customers, we have noticed, are not comfortable about calling up and talking, but they don't mind quickly typing out something on the mobile. For like, it could be an inquiry, it could be a complaint, anything. So Google makes it easy for your customers to communicate with you. Okay, and this is also useful for people who do not want to share their mobile numbers directly with the algorithm and the other digital platforms. So using the Google Message, you can actually hide your personal number, where your customers can still click on message and send you a message, and you will receive it on your mobile, but they do not have a direct access to your mobile number. So if you want to hide your personal number, you can actually use this feature. The next thing is the response time. This is something which is actually calculated by Google itself. It calculates how much of time it takes for you to respond, and it displays this over here. And then you can also customize your welcome message on the Google platform for the messaging piece of it also. So using the Google My Business app, you can receive and respond to messages. It will give you notifications every time somebody has reached out to you. So this way you are available to your customers 24/7. Now look at this. Now let's look at the posts that you can add on Google. It is not just about adding information. You can actually add a CTA. That's called a call to action button. where you can book. So if you are a restaurant, or if you are like a professional service, like a dentist, or you know, any other way, or a lawyer or anything, so you can actually, your customers can book your calendar right from Google My Business, and it's completely free. If you have a payment gateway, if you have an e-commerce site, you can use Google My Business to and at the button order online for them to directly order material for you, with you directly. It can also be, they can also buy products from you directly from their Google My Business platform. So this is especially useful if you are a B2C company and you have an e-commerce site. You can add learn more, the button learn more, if you want to reroute them to your website and give them more information if your product is more complicated, like a manufacturing product, etc. And if you have a subscription, if you have a subscription for a website or for a newsletter or for any of your services, you can also use sign up over here. Now, all of this says that you can actually integrate Google My Business, not just to give information to your customers, but also to sell your products and businesses on to your customers. Now, one of the main thing that you need to notice over here is that your Google posts, they disappear after 7 days. That means any post that you create is only going to be there for 7 days. Why is this? Why is this feature? The feature is because Google, we all know that as a consumer, we all want to keep seeing fresh content. Imagine that when you're seeing the news and you get the same news every day, you're bored. You will stop going onto the news channel. And for a lot of us, see Netflix. Imagine we had the same movies playing every day. We will not go back to it. The reason we go back to these channels is because every time we go, there is a lot of new content that you can consume, and that is the reason that Google has made sure that your post is only there for 7 days. That means as a business, you're forced to keep on adding new content or refreshing the content on a regular basis. At the same time, it gives a reason for your own customers to keep coming back to your site again and again. Okay, so it is always good for you to use a Google Post calendar, a simple calendar which says that every 7 days you have content which reminds you that you have to go and upload a new content onto your Google My Business. If you see here, you can also, aside from all of this, if you have an event to promote, for example, today's event, we could have also added this event on Google My Business for Thai Kerala. Okay, so if you have any such events, you can actually use Google My Business to go and promote it. The next one is offers. If you have now festivals offers are coming in, you have your Diwali, Diwali coming in. So if you have offers running, you can actually put it on Google Posts also. And of course, you can give individual product details also on this. Now, all of these, why when you're doing all of these, remember your event, your offer, all of this becomes searchable on Google. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Just go and update your Google My Business and then become searchable on Google. And that's really very powerful for any business. Now, not just this, for companies who do not have a website, through Google My Business, you can build your website completely free. And this is free for life. Okay, so this another powerful feature is that when you claim your Google My Business, and if you do not have a website, you can simply go and claim this from GMB itself. And the beauty of this this website is, one, it does not require any coding. You do not need to, as a business owner, you don't have to give this to a third party. It's a simple drag and drop, add images, etc., which you can do it by yourself. So you can quickly have a website through the Google My Business, which is completely free. Secondly, it is mobile ready. What does it mean? Today, at least 65% of your searches happen on the mobile. Okay, so many of the older businesses who have a website have to make their website mobile ready. So that means the content should be easily readable on the mobile itself. When you create a Google website, you don't have to bother about making it mobile ready because it's already built that way. You don't have to do anything extra to keep it ready for mobile. And the last one is, when you create a website outside Google, you have to index your Google, your website. You have to submit your website to Google searches by submitting the indexes for it. Okay, that what does indexing means? It lets Google crawl through your website, see the amount of information that is available, and see what kind of information is available, so that when somebody searches for that information, the Google throws up your website in the search results. Okay, with the Google website, all of this is already done. You just have to go, add your content, and you're ready with your Google website, which is already mobile ready and ready for Google searches. So another powerful feature. Now, these are all the features. For me, the excitement is always about the analytics. So let's look at the analytics that Google My Business offers to you. It gives you information such as how many customers have actually found you directly. In this case, I had the customer here, the business here is Premier Corporation. So how many people have actually typed Premier Corporation? You get an information over here on when they typed Premier Corporation on Google, and how many of them have found you directly. Discovery is when the customers do not know your business name, but they are looking for a particular product or service that you're offering. For example, here it was glassware. Okay. Now, if you are a company who is, if you're a CA, if so somebody is looking for CA in Bangalore or CA in Kerala or Cochin or any such places, that's when they'll come under the discovery searches. And if your company website or your Google My Business comes in over there, it shows under discovery. Branded is when you have a product which is a brand. For example, if you are a company who, if you are a store who has Nike and Puma store, Puma shoes, okay? So if somebody is searching for Puma shoes or Nike shoes near me, that's where it comes under the branded search, and you will get to know how many people are finding you through branded search. Now this screen is important for you to figure out how many people know your business by name, how many people are, if you have a larger number of people searching and finding you as per your product or service, this will help you to ensure that you use those keywords for your Google website also, and make yourself more searchable. Or if most of your business is coming because you're carrying branded products, then you need to ensure that you speak more about the branded products across your content also. Now, this one here, this screen shows how many people have viewed your business on search and how many of them found on maps. Now, this information is important because generally people who are in your city and who are closer to you are trying to find you on the map. So you get to understand the geographies in which the customers are coming in from. So that will help you figure out where your customers are based out of. This one shows you after they have come onto your Google My Business. Remember, we had all where they can call you, they can view your photographs, they can visit your website. You can see for each one of them what are the actions that the customers have taken. So if you see that in this one, a lot of customers are the highest number of actions taken is request for directions. That means these people are actually physically in the close proximity of your business, and they are planning to come and visit your stores. Okay, so that this gives you an information that your customers are in close proximity. The highest customers or people who actually walk into your stores are the ones who are in closer proximity to your business. And if you have customers calling you more, then you know that your customers prefer to have a one-to-one discussion with you, and that is why you're having a call. People are reaching out to you more for calling. View photos, maybe the customers want to know more about your product or your services, and that is what is attracting them about your business. So each of this will give you information about how to position your business. And again, all of this is free. Now here, this is an interesting piece because it lets you figure out how many other businesses like you, how they are performing vis-a-vis you on the photographs. So it also helps you in your competition analysis. Now, with all of this, you can see that Google My Business is really, really important. Now, before you create your Google My Business, okay, you will have to get it verified. This is to make sure Google makes sure that you are the business owner of of whatever Google My Business that you are claiming. So there's a process called verification. This actually takes anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. So for people who in India, and it is verified by postcard. So you get a physical postcard once you enter your address over there. Only after you verify your business will you be able to publish this for the public. So for people who have not claimed the Google My Business, it is a good idea to start today, because it will still take you 2 to 4 weeks to actually get the verification postcard and then get become visible to your customers. So it is important, especially in India, it is by verification by postcard, so it will take some time. So you need to start today. Now, how do you get Google My Business? Simple. Just go to Google and type Google My Business, and you will get your first link, and you can go ahead and start creating your own pages. Remember, it's very easy. It does not require any coding. All that you need to know is what to write and tell about your business. Keep some photographs ready, keep some content ready, and you're good to go with Google My Business. Now, how to use Google My Business to promote your business? So I said one, you've already covered this. So you claim your Google free website. Even if you have a website, it's a good idea to have a Google free website. You can actually replicate the information over here, because it makes it so much more easy for Google to find information about you. Okay, use Google posts, use events, products, ads, any of these things every 7 days. Okay, use the reviews. Answer the reviews. When customers are giving you a review, acknowledge them, thank them. Even if it's a good review, if it's a bad review, acknowledge them. It is important. You can actually also add videos on your Google My Cards one. Please make sure that it's an original content and it's only for 30 seconds. If you are copy pasting someone else's content, Google will actually block it. So it's not worth it. Use your mobile, use a smartphone, create a quick video on your mobile, and you can actually upload that. And using this, you can make using Google My Business, you can actually find out how your customers are finding you, and this in turn will help you on your SEO. And one more interesting thing is that during this COVID time, Google My Business is giving you, I think, either 2,000 or 3,000 rupees worth of free Google ads. So the moment you claim your Google My Business, you actually get 2,000 or 3,000 rupees of credit, and you can actually buy Google ads for your business with that amount. This is a short-term thing which is available during the during the COVID period. Now, not only this, there is so much more that Google gives you. There is a program, again, this is during this pandemic time that Google has introduced, called Grow with Google. So what does it have? You have free programs. One is with Zoho. So there's a 3 months free access for Zoho for Google My Business customers. The Instamojo has 6 months free subscription. Okay, you then, for businesses who use deliveries, you can have a free trial with Dunzo without any sign-up fees if you are with Google. Swiggy has something called fast track onboarding for companies, again, or restaurants who are already on GMB. So these are all various things which is all available free of cost for you. Additional information is also available for small businesses with videos on how to use the entire Google platform free of cost for your business. They are free digital skills training, again, available for business owners through this. There's so much that is there available for you, completely free of cost. Okay, again, for startups also, if you are a startup, and then there is entire playbook. There's a lot of information is available with Grow with Google. It's a separate feature itself. So you can just go to Google and type Grow with Google, and you can register for that, and you will start getting all of this information available for you from the experts. There's nobody bigger than Google when it comes to digital, and you get to get all of these things completely free from Google. So that is my first tool. So now I hope that you all understand the value of Google My Business and how you can utilize it for your business. The next one, what we're looking at, is LinkedIn. So this is the LinkedIn company page. So now let me have a quick poll again. And can you all share with me as how many of you have created your LinkedIn company page? Remember, not your personal page, but your company page. Can you quickly give me the poll on that, please? Okay, this is good. So we have a majority of people who have claimed their LinkedIn company page. Great. So that means I will run through this quickly and highlight those things where we can optimize the LinkedIn company page. Okay. And so that we can, here we have almost a 60-40% over here. That is great. So now let's get quickly on to this on LinkedIn, and I'll be quick about this part of the presentation. So we all know already what is the value of LinkedIn. It is the best B2B social platform. Okay. And you use you use LinkedIn when you are predominant into B2B marketing, when you want to reach larger geographies, including global markets. You can use it to raise brand awareness, to promote career opportunities, and also educate potential customers. So if you have a product which requires a lot of explanation and educating, LinkedIn is a perfect platform where you can create a continuous amount of content which will keep educating your potential customers. Okay, and how do you create this? I'll be quick. You go to your personal page, and then there is something called create a company page. You start with that. Okay, and you have various options. You can create a small business or medium to large business. I will be covering predominantly the small business and medium businesses over here. Showcase pages and the education is for a higher next level piece for people who have already created their company pages. If you have multiple products which is different from each other or multiple services, then you can look at showcase pages where you can create one showcase page for each of your products, and this will be connected to your main company page. Okay, now these are the various steps in which you can create your LinkedIn company page. A good thing over here is to look at to ensure that you have your own public URL for your website, for your LinkedIn site. This is almost like having a website inside LinkedIn for your organization. So it is also, you create a public URL which is very similar to your website itself. Okay, various information. Now you have to optimize LinkedIn. You have to ensure that you cover all the information that they are asking for. Okay, you have, for example, in the description, you are allowed to write up to 2,000 characters in your description. We are always making this mistake where we where we just write a shorter description. Make sure to optimize on LinkedIn company pages that you utilize the entire 2,000 words as much as possible. This applies for all the character limits for across the entire LinkedIn company pages. Specialities, this is important. It allows you up to 20, and if you can see here, for me, this is for my page, my company page, it's a lot of it is around marketing itself. So this is where you tell LinkedIn what is your area of specialization, and it also helps LinkedIn to show which articles, which content to display to you, so that LinkedIn will keep coming and telling you that, you know what, hey, somebody is talking about digital marketing. Neetu, do you want to add your comment over there? So you don't have to go and track everything. LinkedIn automates this for you, and it starts showing you other articles where you can go comment and become more visible to your customers. You can add your locations. If you are a company who has multiple locations, you can add multiple locations in this. Okay, and this is the entire information in there. You have to ensure that you go through each of these and add all information so that you complete your LinkedIn profile as much as possible, because only the LinkedIn completed profiles are actually thrown out in searches. So LinkedIn has its own SEO search logic, and it is first thing that they do is they look for company pages which are complete in all their information. Once you complete this, you will start getting content, which is you'll unlock content suggestions for your company pages. This is not available in personal pages, only available in company pages. That's why it's important. Okay, you can view your LinkedIn both as a member and as an admin, and keep seeing how it looks for your customers when they come and visit your page. Now let's look at what does it mean with each of these subheadings over here. Content suggestions. Now, LinkedIn is very heavy on content. So before you write your content, you can actually do this little bit of a research. You can identify which industry and which customers that you're looking for, and it shows you what is the audience size. In this example, the audience size for electrical and electronic manufacturing in India and the senior management of those organizations is about 10,000 people. So I can decide, is it is it a good size of audience for me to use and write an article about, which I'm able to reach out to 10,000 people. If it is less than 100, 150, I don't think it's even worth for me to write something over there, because obviously the ratio of people who are available and they see your content is always different. Now, under this, you start looking at, now you start getting information about the visitors. So you get to know about how visitors, which pages of your LinkedIn pages have they come and visited, and how many of them are unique, how many of them have come from the desktop, and how many of them have come through the mobile. You can also configure this and see as per every dates, whichever dates, there could be a weekly, daily, you can see that. Every time you post in a new content, you will see a spike that is there in my case over here. Okay. It also shows you what are the demographics, what functions they are coming in from, and what geographies. Now this is for your articles. When you write articles on LinkedIn, you get the entire updates about it. Okay. It also gives you impressions. So this is all available in your LinkedIn Analytics. So it is not just enough for you to actually simply go and post articles. It's always, or to create a page. But once you write your articles, you always have to go back to your analytics and see how many people are clicking, reacting, commenting, this sharing, etc. So it tells you if you have a high rate of which of your content is actually giving you higher rates, okay, of engagement with your customers. Followers. This one will tell you how many followers that you have gained, either organic or sponsored. Typically, when you see a spike, that is the time when you have actually posted something or you have asked people to follow you. You can also see followers as per the industry and the geography. Important information for you to see that whatever content that you're writing is actually going and reaching to the right people. This is interesting, okay? This is something which LinkedIn does by itself. It gives you a list of companies that you can track who are similar to you. And it makes a comparison to show how many followers they have vis-a-vis you, and how many updates they have vis-a-vis you, and what is their engagement in. So another great way to use competition analysis. LinkedIn has this automated for you at the back end. You don't have to do anything. It goes by your specialties which you have highlighted. Using that and your company description, it identifies which companies you can compare yourself with. Okay. Now, aside from this, on the activity, there is again you can get to see what are the reactions, shares, comments also, but for each of your posts that you do. Now, one of the main important things about a LinkedIn company page is follow. So you have this follow button, which is there by default, or you can choose it from when you are creating your page. Okay. Now, for your business to actually be seen on LinkedIn, you need to have a large number of followers. This is different from your personal page. Now, for that, first you need to create content. Once you create your content, then if you see on the right hand side, you have this invitations, which is called invite connections to follow. Now, on a monthly basis, your LinkedIn company page gets 100 credits. Okay, so that means you can send out 100 invites in a month. Once you cross 100 invites, you have to wait for people for the next month to get the next 100 invite. That is one. And the other thing is that these 100 invites, also as and when people start accepting your invite, the numbers keep adding back into your credits. So that means if you send out 50 invites, and if 20 of them have accepted your invite, your credit invite now becomes 50 plus 20, 70. So this is a continuous activity that you can do to keep on adding followers proactively from your side itself. Okay, so that brings me to the end of LinkedIn. Okay, and the next one that we are going to be talking about is an email automation. This is a new tool that many people are aware of. A lot of us are familiar with MailChimp and Click to Connect, etc. Why I have chosen Moozend is that it is one, it has all of the advanced features are still available under free plan, unlike your MailChimp and Click to Connect, where their very basic features are available for free and the others are all paid. The second one is even the paid modules for Moozend is much more cheaper than any of the others. Okay, so that's why I'm choosing Moozend for email automation. With this, let's have our next poll. How many of you use email marketing? Okay. Interesting. So I'm seeing about 60% of you. Okay, 60% of you are, close to 60% of you are using email marketing. Great. Now this means that this is going to be an interesting piece of information for you. Here I am going to be talking about the automation of your email marketing. We all know email marketing can be really very cumbersome, especially when you have to manage multiple lists, multiple emails, and figuring out which email to send to which set of clients, which set of data. So let's look at how do we use this. So I'm talking about Moozend. Again, this has frozen. I think every time we do a poll, it freezes and then it becomes okay. So you can go to Moozend and simply start with creating your free account. Remember one thing, Moozend will let you create a free account only with your business address. Okay, so you cannot use any of your Gmail or Hotmail email IDs. It has to be your business address. This is to ensure that you meet with all the compliance of email marketing globally. Now, once you create a Moozend account, you can go and create your first sender signature. What is a sender signature? Now, for me, for example, I sometimes don't like sending out a mail to a mass mail to a lot of people using my name Neetu at marketing. I prefer using things like using an email ID which says connect with marketing for sales or anything else, or it could be consult your marketing coach. So whatever is the heading of the person that you want to send it out from, that's your sender signature. And with Moozend, you can create multiple innumerable amount of sender signatures. So you can send out, so if I'm having a training for zero budget marketing, I have a sender signature which says zero budget marketing is what it displays at. If I'm doing something for HubSpot and I say your HubSpot consultant. If I'm doing something for marketing consulting as a marketing coach, then I have a signature, sender signature saying your marketing coach. So I can create multiple different signatures based on the conviction that I'm having with my audience. Okay, and then you can create your mailing list. It's very easy. You can quickly upload if you already have information. You can quickly upload it on using your Excel or CSV files with your into Moozend. Okay. Once you have created your signature and you have created your mailing list, okay, you can start with creating your campaigns. You can just simply go directly to campaigns, create new campaigns. Now there are multiple campaigns that you can create in the free module itself. Okay, I'm going to be using the automation campaign. Most of the other email things do not offer automation campaigns as a free module. Here, I'm going directly with automation, where I can have the campaign name and I can automatically track my campaign through Google Analytics. Okay, so it's already built in. You don't have to do anything. There is no coding that you need to do. You can choose between a HTML or a plain. I prefer directly getting onto the campaign template itself. So there is a template. If I go to the editor, and go to the template library. I'm not very good at sitting and writing too much of the content and designs, but this one gives me a ready-made template library. I quickly pick up whichever I want to. And this is what I created for myself some time ago. It took me about 5 minutes to create this. Okay, all the images, everything was already there. I just quickly choose which one I wanted to and write my content over there. Okay, it's as easy as this to create. It also includes my unsubscribe here. It includes all the social media handles which I want to do. Everything all templatized. Just quickly, I will just go and enter my contact details. Okay. Now using this, you can also test this. So here you are testing this to see you can send it out to yourself before you send it out to any customer and see how it looks on various platforms, whether it is on Outlook, Gmail, or personal or company accounts. You can actually see how it looks on all of these. Okay, it also takes care of your spam test. So this is very important because it tells you upfront that based on the content that you have written, including the subject lines or the content inside the email, what is the probability that this email of yours will land up in the spam box of your customer. And it's important for you because that's one of the most biggest problem that every email marketer has. Worried that his email, which he spent so much time in writing, is landing up in the spam box. Okay. After you've created such email, you can create a series of this. I want to make it automated. Okay, till now, this is something which you can also do on your own email boxes, but the power of this comes in the automation of it. Now I go to automation, and again, there is so many automations that you can provide. All of this in the free is in the free plan. What I'm going to run through today is the email sequence. Okay, when I go to this, now this is interesting. I can go and say that when somebody subscribes to a list, let's say they go into my website, they see a subscription form, they fill it up. And once they fill up the subscription form, one email goes out to them. So I can go and click over there. The trigger over here is somebody subscribes to in my form. Okay. Once I do that, I can go. This is what it'll start showing you your workflow. So you can say that once somebody subscribes to my list, I can wait for a time interval. So here I'm saying just wait for 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, automatically send them out an email. And this is the email that we have created earlier. Okay, the various emails, which email that we have to ask them, just keep on selecting that and send it down. You can also select that only one email goes in this step. This is when sometimes, customers by mistake go and subscribe multiple times, not realizing that. So if you do not put this tab, every time they subscribe, every time they click, the same email keeps going to them, and that may be looked at spam. Again, another thing that will land up make your email land up in the spam box. If you here, this will automatically help you. Just select up to one email per day, and it will take care of that. So no more spamming from your side. Okay. Then now you're saying the second email goes out. Again, after the second email, again you wait for some time and then send the third email. So like this, you can keep on creating various emails as a series of email. You can also add a filter. Filter is, let's say on your email you have got a link to your website. So you can actually say, if somebody opens the website or somebody goes to your LinkedIn page from your email, then you have to do something else. So it's like a simple logic that you can actually create, which is saying if they click on this, you do this. If they don't click, you do this. So it's a simple yes/no logic that you prepare all of this, repeating the steps again and again for each of the steps. Okay. Now, this is an example of what I created for my business. I started with saying when somebody becomes a part of my email list, I send them a welcome email. If they open it, I send them a survey mail. If they don't open it, I send them a reminder. Again, when I send them a reminder, if they open it, I send them the survey email. Again, if they don't open, I send a second reminder. Okay. Similarly, once they open the survey email, I either send them a sales mail. And if they open the sales mail, then I send them and they purchase something, I automatically send them a thank you mail. Whereas if they, after the second reminder also, if they have not responded, they have not opened any of my emails, I actually send them email that says, would you want to be unsubscribed from this? Now, all of this is automatic for me. All I had to create was 4 different emails and then create this flow automatically at the back end. Once I spent some time creating this, everything is taken care by it on the back end. And that is the power of an email automation tool. Okay. So once you've created this, you have something called automation is running. You can switch off and switch on this automation anytime that you want to. So if you're doing one automation only for your festival programs coming in, after the festival gets over, you can actually switch it off also. Okay, and or you can save this as a recipe and reactivate that for the next festival. Now back to analytics. Now, so of course, like I said, the power is in the analytics. So with this, you get to see what are the open rates, how many recipients are opened it, what fields they have opened, which links they have clicked. You get all the information today on this. Okay, so you get if you click on reports, you get recipients. Now here, if I see the recipients, people who have received it. Okay, who are the top recipients? Which locations they are in, which browsers they have used. Okay, which are the fields that they have used, which links have they clicked more, whether they've used a desktop or a mobile. All this information is now available for you to see this. Okay, then you can also see based on the open rates. Okay, how many of them opened, how many were not open, how many of them clicked, bounce. You can see this for each campaign or overall also. And if you have multiple campaigns, each campaign will also show you how many of them have them been clicked. So you can see everything on one platform. You don't have to go and search for other. Okay. If you have a monthly newspaper, you will also see how many people have clicked on this. This one is where again you're seeing information about which mobile platforms they have used and which locations are they based on. It's very interesting because I saw somebody who were actually, these guys were targeting customers in, let's say, Karnataka. But when they sent out these mails, they saw that a lot of people from, let's say, Delhi were actually clicking on them, and they realized that they have a customer base in Delhi who's interested on their products, which they had never bothered to actually approach. So then they started looking at how can I reach out to Delhi, and they actually found a distributor in Delhi for their business. This is what the power of this kind of information. Okay. Now with this, I come to the closure of the 3 marketing tools. Now let's see how do we connect the dots with these 3 tools. Now, if you're thinking that your business has 3 portions in your marketing strategy, you have attracting the customer, engaging them, and analyzing them. Let's see what else you can do with each of the 3 tools that I spoke today. You can use Google My Business. How can you to attract customers? By making sure that it becomes a part of the Google listing, both for Google searches and maps. Then, of course, you can use videos and images, which is the most powerful piece right now in content when it comes globally. You can use LinkedIn for writing and sharing content with both members and groups. And you can also follow influencers and hashtags, which is basically your specializations. And with Moozent, you can create your managed subscription lists. Now, how do you engage your customers? On Google My Business, you're using reviews, Q&A, posts, etc. LinkedIn, you can ask for testimonials, and you can and respond to each of those content when writing content. People are responding to them, you can actually comment on them also, right? And Moozent, like I mentioned, educational content. If you want to send a customer continuous information, educating them about a product, you can use both LinkedIn and Moozent or email automation over there. Of course, Moozent is where you can also use it for selling. And then when it comes to analyzing, all of them, analytics, they have built-in analytics, which includes where you can analyze your content and your competition, and also your audience. So this is how you can connect the dots in all the 3 of them. Okay. One pro tip is that always try to interconnect them. So you can add your Google My Business and your LinkedIn pages in your email signatures itself. people can start reaching and going and visiting these pages of yours through your email signature. So you're interconnecting your emails, Google My Business and LinkedIn together. Okay. So now this is an interesting thing that I created last time after I met a couple of business owners who were looking at where do I start with my digital marketing. Now, if you divide the entire digital marketing landscape into 4 pieces, and A is, these are pieces where it is low cost and low effort, which is basically your social marketing, if you see, okay, including your Google My Business and adding it into directories. These are low cost and low effort, okay. The next one is, it's still cheaper, but it takes a lot more effort, is to create published content like blogs, email, newsletters, videos, including posts on YouTube, okay, and the email automation which I spoke about right now, and maybe even a referral system, okay, and SEO. The next one is, which is high cost and high effort. This is the third stage that you should go to, not immediately. You should start with A, B, and then C. So we're talking about nurturing leads using landing pages, market automation, etc. And then the last one is the high cost but low effort. These are all automated for you. These are paid ads, display ads, etc. Now, what is interesting is that I have seen that many people, they start with C and D, or they start with D. I would not advise that. I always advise, if you haven't done digital marketing, start with A. Get to know what content is attracting your customers and engaging them. Okay, learn how digital marketing is working for you before you start paying for it. So don't start with D, start with A. Now for people who have already used LinkedIn, Google My Business, and email automation, this is the last additional thing that I wanted to give you, one fourth free marketing tool, and this is the HubSpot free CRM. Okay. Now, to begin with, let me tell you what is HubSpot about. HubSpot is a one platform where you can connect with your marketing, sales, and services business teams can connect on one platform itself. So this is a platform meant for organizations who have these 3 distinct services for your within your organization. And all your marketing, sales, and services, they will all be powered by the same database. So what does it mean? One of the most common challenges when people have different divisions like this is that when you want to transfer a lead from marketing to sales and a customer from sales to services, information is lost in between, because the marketing has its own database and system, sales has its own database system, and services has its own database system. So during this time, information is actually lost. With our HubSpot, all of them, the entire data, and this is managed in a central place, and marketing, sales, and services actually feed out from this. Now, the HubSpot CRM, which is let me explain to you what it is. It's basically, in today's digital world, first of all, let's understand what is CRM. So in today's digital world, it refers to a set of tools that will help the company to not only retain and acquire your customers, but also continue to develop them. And it's all automated. Let's go here, think through the example of the email automation. The difference between sending out mass emails versus email automation, where everything is done on a more complex level, but completely automated. That's what a digital CRM will do for you today. And it gives you, HubSpot CRM, the free CRM, lets you experience the benefits of a CRM without paying anything first, right? And this is it's free for life. So it's, even if you feel that you're happy with the free CRM, then you don't have to go for the paid one. So it is unlimited users. So whether you have 5 users or you have 500 users in your company, everybody can use this in the free version itself. I mentioned it's free forever, and all your data, you can upload up to 1 million contacts and companies in the free package itself. Now, the HubSpot CRM is an advanced one. It is very powerful. It's easy, but it will take some time for you to understand because it's so vast. So you probably will need some help to set this up for you. Now let's look at what is available in the free CRM. if you looked at this, you can contacts, companies, deals, analytics, marketplace integration. You can build forms, free forms over here, or so that people can start registering for your business, products, services, subscription, etc. over here. You can track it on your emails. You can integrate with your Gmail and your Outlooks, and all, so that you know when a customer when you're sending out an email to a customer, the customer is opening the email, not opening the email. If sales is sending one information, services is sending one information, marketing is sending one information, all of this you can see together in one dashboard. Okay, all your documents can be set away. You can even call through HubSpot free CRM. You can schedule meetings with this. You can manage your ads through the free CRM. You can track ticketing for your service, for your supported services. So customers can log in a ticket for a support, and then once your team has finished address it, then it can be closed. All of this in the free CRM. So with this, I'm going to be wrapping it up. So I promised you 3, I'm giving you 4 free. I talked about 4 free various services, business tools. Additionally, as I mentioned, there is a free e-handbook which is going to be coming to you, which is going to be covering predominantly the Google My Business, LinkedIn, and the Muzen email automation. And if any of you are interested to know more about HubSpot, you can also register for a free consult with me, and we can talk about whether it's useful for your business or not, and how can you start with it. Okay. Additionally, if you still want more information, you can follow me on my LinkedIn company page or my personal page. LinkedIn company page, just search for marketing for sales in, and my personal page, you can just search for Neetu V Bansal on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and I keep posting information and videos about some of my more advanced features or advanced features on marketing. So I hope with this, it will help you address a lot of your marketing queries or questions that you have. So with this, I'm ending the session. You can start with, if you have any queries, questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
There are a couple of questions in the Q&A tab, if you can take those.
Okay. Please. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, so let's see what are the questions that we have. Can we use our YouTube video on GMB video space? Yes, you can do that, right? So you can upload the link for the YouTube, and that is a great way to connect YouTube and Google My Business and have the dual power of both GMB and YouTube. What are the other things that are? We have overshot time for this tool. Okay. Sorry, that was you. Okay. Anything else? I think that's the only query I can see here. Any other questions?
Participants, if you have any more questions, please post it in the Q&A tab. If you don't, then we'll probably wind up the session. Okay, I guess no more questions.
I think I managed to either be so clear that nobody had any questions, or I managed to confuse everybody and they don't know what to do now.
So I don't think so. Thank you, Neetu, for that very engaging and useful session. There were a lot of takeaways for participants from the interaction. And anything related to digital marketing in these times have great response, especially with mid-size and smaller firms. We'll be sharing the ebook. Neetu will be sharing the ebook to the participants soon. And I hope most of you would utilize these free tools that are available to take your business to the next level. We'll also share Neetu's email ID as well as the recordings of this particular session. You will get it over your email very soon. Thank you again, Neetu, for your time, for interacting with the participants. Before we close, let me also share a particular banner that about a program, Loan Mela, that CII Kerala is organizing. It would be particularly useful for MSMEs. So I'll just share that with you. So there are a few more questions in the Q&A tab. Neetu, if you can take those up.
Sure.
Sure.
We have domain XYZ, which page will belong to a person who type XYZ. Okay, so when you upload any website details, etc., Google My Business will actually verify it. So there are two things. Many times what happens is somebody in your organization in the past may have claimed the Google My Business, but nobody's maintaining it. Okay, so you may have a good GMB site, but your website may not have been connected to that. So when you do connect it, GMB will run through a verification using either a Google Authenticator or a email authentication. So to ensure that you own the official site, the website, or you're the owner of the business. So once that is done, then you will be able to connect it. So you can connect your actual email website over there. And if I said that, when you want to do, you can have your own Google website plus your an additional website. So you can actually, with a slight change of the name, you can actually have two websites also. On the HubSpot, is there any user limit? No, there is no user limit in the free version at all. Like I mentioned, you can have any number of users on HubSpot in the free CRM piece. Any tool for full digital marketing? Yes, Ravi, there are lots of advanced tools for full digital marketing. Depends on what you want, because there are also tools which connect your digital social media different social media marketing. So if you want, there are tools like Hootsuite, Buffer. There are a lot of these which will connect your multiple tools. So if you can create content on on a Hootsuite, for example, you can actually post it on various others, like will be LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of them. So you can do all of them together also. Okay. Is it a good idea to have a separate account for LinkedIn or page within our personal account? So it depends on the business that you are in. For example, if you are a consultant and you are the product, you are the service, and I think a personal account will be good enough. However, if you are into other products and services, it's always better to have a different company page. And the company page, you cannot create a company page without your personal account. So you have to create a company page after you've created a personal account. Okay. Which site will be loaded, GMB site or other? Both will be, when it comes to a Google search, if you have two sites, both of them will be visible. Depends upon your SEO pathway. Okay. How can we optimize GMB for multiple locations? Yes, you can. On GMB, you can actually add multiple locations. You can add a file. I know a company who has 600 locations across the country. They have a franchisee program. So they've uploaded all the 600 locations on GMB. Okay, you can do that with these using an Excel file. And every time somebody searches for this, for this based on the location that they are in, the Google throws out those locations based on the Google searches. So if the search is happening in Bangalore, and in Bangalore, if you're on MG Road, then based on MG, all the businesses available around MG Road will be displayed. If we have a professional site, do we need to go for a GMB free site? It's left to you, Johnny. You can. I recommend is that if you feel that you have a lot of traffic coming in from Google My Business, it's a good thing to add that also. If you feel that it is not, then and if you're happy with the professional site, that's okay. The only thing is, with the professional side, you will have to spend a lot of time and money on ensuring that it is indexed for Google and it is also mobile ready. With GMB, it's already built into it. Do we need a dynamic website for better SEO marketing? Yes. Yes, Rajesh, you cannot have a static website with only one content because with SEO, one of the pieces about SEO is that how often is your content refreshed? Stale content after some time, though it will come under, it will be tracked by Google. it will not come on the first page of Google searches. So it is always best to keep on adding new content. This is the same example that I gave you about Netflix and news. Okay, stale content, no, we will have less and less number of people coming in over there. Is HubSpot CRM secure? Yes, it is very, very secure. And it, in fact, if you have international customers, it also takes care of your GDPR compliances. When you upload database, it asks you that to make sure that you have the permission to reach out to these customers. It takes care of all the legal parts of it when it's coming. And of course, in terms of the data security, it is completely secure. It is one of the most powerful CRMs in the world, and it follows all the best practices for data security also. Okay, so I hope
pretty much
this has covered everything.
Thank you for answering those queries. Thank you again for spending time and with the members. We'll soon share the email IDs for you to reach out to them. Yeah. Thank you again. Thank you, participants. If you haven't seen that particular poster that I shared, take a look. It seems to be an interesting initiative. You can reach out to the CII office. I'll share the details for you and get details about this particular program. Thank you. Thank you for attending, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.